Okie dokie. All right, so everyone's... I mean, I sent out the Discord call, so I think this is probably it. So I'm going to
Are you guys already recording?
Yeah, I'm recording. Are you recording?
Yeah.
I'm recording.
Okay,
yeah, you want to get those sweet bits in the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Those good little...
It's probably where we're funniest is in the beginning.
In the beginning? Yeah, I would say so. I don't make any jokes in the rest of the podcast. Everything's really serious.
I cut out any joke that you put in whenever I edit it.
Oh, damn it. It's not very nice. All right. Well, I mean, I'm here, so I'm going to gavel. Listen, gavel, gavel, gavel. I'm here. Dan Rotz, here, your business manager or whatever. And then, so Chris.
Present.
Chris Wrights is present. And then Mr. Alex, Alex Writer, you're here.
Pass into the iris.
All right. Pass into the iris. Oh, God. I love that. That was a fun episode to do. All right. And I guess we don't have an Ian and we don't have an Allison.
Did they say they were coming?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to... I think they might have been busy, but I don't know. We'll give them a minute or two here. Maybe they'll show up. I mean, it's only recording the podcast. It's only the thing that we do
it's not that big of a deal.
Every other week or whatever. But also, so no Will, no Ian. No.
Oh, we got Alex. I mean, that's like...
We got Alex. That's good.
That's worth like all of them together, probably.
Pretty much.
I didn't even know we were recording. I just showed up.
Yeah, I was... Well, it's... I mean, you're here, so I figured it might be. Hey, you guys, do you guys have any beer that you're drinking right now?
Oh, I've got this Dogfish Head 60-minute IPA.
Oh, me too. Here, let's pop these.
Oh, that's weird.
Let's pop these. Okay, Alex, do you have any of those?
I do.
Nice.
How convenient.
Nice. That's where we, but first, right? But first,
yeah.
Time for a beer.
That's what Ian says.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, what a clown.
Man. So, Did you guys know that this beer is continually hopped?
Is that why it's like called a 60-minute IPA?
Yeah, they continually hop it for 60 minutes.
Not 59.
Not 59, not 61.
Not 61.
Actually, I went to their brewery tour, and they had like their original continuous hopper, and it's basically this thing that was like I think it was like a children's toy that just like shook down a ramp so that these hops would just be added for 60 minutes.
So basically the hops are doing the truffle shuffle on their way into the beer. It's nice. I like Dogfish Head.
It's so crisp.
They make solid beer.
Delicious.
I wish there was more maltiness to it. Like I've like my standard for IPAs is usually loose cannon from Heavy Seas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that has like a little more flavor, like malty flavor and sweetness to it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I like the kind of bitey, citrusy front of the 60-minute though.
Yeah, it does really have that. It's an aggressive bite. I think it's like as you get to the 90-minute, that's a little bit more. Still has the same bite, but it's a little bit more like alcoholic. Like you can tell, like you can taste that like
the 9%.
The 9%.
Well, according to them, it's powerful but balanced.
Powerful, but balanced.
Like a Snorlax.
Me likey. How many Dogfish Head sharks would you give it out of 5?
I don't love it, so I would say 3.5.
Okay.
Oh, I'm at 4.5.
Wow.
I love it.
You know, for the sake of being in the middle, I'm just going to be a solid 4. That way I'm just right in between both of you, which is how I'd want to be in any situation.
Did you hear that they got bought out by Boston Beer Company?
I did not. What is Boston Beer Company? What other things do they do?
Samuel Adams.
Sammy Adams? Big Sammy?
Yep.
Isn't it though? Isn't most of that deal a distribution and mass
exactly
production?
Sure.
I think that it's gonna stay pretty similar to what it is. It's just reaching.
I mean, I hope
masses.
so.
Yeah, it just opens you up. Really opens you up.
Open sesame.
Oh, I just went to the Boston Beer Company's Wikipedia page. This is the second largest craft brewery behind Yuengling. I didn't know Yuengling was considered a craft brewery.
Well, I think technically because I think to be a craft brewery, you have to be like locally. Like I think it's more about like where your regional distribution is, more so than.
I believe it's about more so the amount of barrels.
Volume.
Okay.
The volume of barrels. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that is surprising to me because us Pennsylvanians drink a lot of fucking Yingling. All right. Anyone hear from anyone else yet?
No.
All right. Okay. Well,
I mean, let's keep it going. What are you playing, Dan?
Yeah. So I actually just finished a game. So. I guess that's where the sound would go if we were recording.
Okay.
But yeah, I finished Devil May Cry 5.
Ooh. How long did that take you?
A few days. Not super long. I think it's like maybe 12 hours ish, but it's not super long because it's
call it a medium.
I'd call it a medium game.
Do you want to keep the rules for last year?
I mean, that makes sense.
3 for 12, like from like 8 to 15 hours as a medium, and that's
yeah. I think that's a good idea. Just keep it in that range. But it's cool. They do so in all the other Devil May Cry games, you basically play as Dante the whole time. Like Devil May Cry 1, 2, 3, you play as Dante. And
was he even supposed to be there that day?
Dante? Yeah, he wasn't even supposed to be there, but he just showed up.
Yeah.
It's just like Alex.
Wasn't even supposed to be here.
Oh, I get it. It's a Mallrats. No, not Mallrats. It's a
Clerks
reference.
You get it.
That's funny.
You get it.
Can't believe you. But yeah, like 1, 2, 3, he plays Dante. But just God damn it. And then in 4, they introduce like a new protagonist named Nero, and then halfway through that game, you switch to Dante. So it does like this, because it changes the play aspect, because instead of Dante's very aggressive sliciness and like the different weapons, Nero only has like one weapon, which is his sword, but he has the devil hand that can pull things to him and like that he can pull himself to.
So is it like Midna in Twilight?
Kind of, except Princess? It's more, Devil May Cry. So it's like very slicey and stylish combat. Well, in Devil May Cry 5, they put a third character in the mix. So you still have Dante, you still have Nero, and then they add this character V, which is very interesting because he doesn't actually do any attacking. What he does is he has these 2 or 3 demons that he summons that do like, one demon does like your ground attacks, another demon does like shooty stuff. That's like a griffin. And then the third demon is like your devil trigger mode, which like it's just this giant nightmare creature that slams down into the ground and then starts using giant fists to punch stuff. It's pretty neat. Because also you have to keep your character V away from the enemies because he's very weak. So if he gets hit, he like takes a big chunk of health out.
Are these games that like someone that plays like the original God of Wars or that kind of hack and slash type of thing would or is there RPG elements at all, or?
There's not really RPG elements. It's more arcadey than anything because it's about like increasing your combos, like kind of doing the most different things to an enemy to get the highest rating on defeating that enemy.
So it's trying to make you not just mash.
Yeah, not just like press the Y button a bunch. Instead it's trying to be like, okay, so do like this slicey thing with the sword, then you do some stabbies, and then you hot switch to your like punchy like fist weapon, and then you hot switch to like your ebony and ivory pistols that you start blamming things away with. It's really cool. I definitely recommend it. It was really well
Paul
done.
And Stevie.
Yes. Yes. I definitely recommend it. You should play Devil May Cry 5. I actually picked up the HD collection of Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3, so I can go back and play those too. I'm almost done 1, so more points coming my way.
Very cool.
What about you, Chris? What have you been playing?
I've been doing a bunch of stuff, man. I'm gonna save talking about Temtem till Ian's here because I was playing with him. Mm-hmm. But I've been playing. I finished Flower. Mm-hmm. So I bought.
Excuse me.
I bought Flower a long time ago because I'd wanted to play it on PC since I never played it on PS3. Flower is basically a game where you're a flower petal and you kind of float around and collect more flower petals to solve puzzles, essentially. Okay. So it's very soothing and very relaxing. I think Abzu had the same art director, and I played Abzu first, but like the kind of the way that both games went, as far as like kind of being pleasant at first and then kind of having this dark situation happen and then kind of defeating the darkness with, in Flower's case, flowers, or in Abzu's case, mystical water Abzus-ness. So I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was only a quick 2-hour game. I was actually playing it mostly while I was waiting for other people to join other games. Nice. So, but I always wanted to play it. It was fun.
That's when I play One Finger Death Punch most of the time.
Nice. That's a fun one too.
It's just so good.
I also recently started. I was looking for a shooter game to play recently, and so I was actually trying to play with Bob, and Bob and I both went and tried to play Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and we got online and we're like, this is stupid, because the combat in that is so ridiculously fast and it's class based and it wasn't fun.
Right.
It was too tight. So then at that point I was like, okay, what's not like this? Battlefield's not like this.
Right.
So we went back and kind of looked at a couple Battlefields, and Battlefield 4 still has a surprising amount of PC players on.
Nice.
So
I think the Battlefield games are very dedicated. Like they have like people who like are very dedicated to playing one type of Battlefield. So like the Battlefield 4 people wouldn't want to play Battlefield 1942 or whatever it was.
So yeah, they wouldn't want to play 1 or 5.
Yeah.
Because so Battlefield 4 is the most recent like modern age Battlefield. So there's still about 10,000 players playing it daily, I think.
Nice.
Wow. So it still has a ton of active servers. None of the servers are hosted by DICE.
But they're still out there.
But there's a ton of servers still active.
Nice. That's cool.
And it's really cool. And so that was one of the games that Battlefield 3 was one of my favorite first-person shooters I've ever played. And Battlefield 4 is just kind of riffing on that.
Yeah.
So it was really fun to kind of play that and mess around with that with Bob and Tyler and get back into Battlefield a little bit.
Nice. Back into Battlefield, the Chris Wright story. All right, I like it. What about you, Alex? You been playing any games?
I have been playing some Overwatch. Been getting back into that.
Nice.
Which has been fun. I found that my strength is as a healer.
Nice.
So I've been playing a whole lot of Lucio.
Why do you think that is?
I think it kind of fits my personality a little bit.
Okay.
You're so helpful.
I like helping other people. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Lucio recently, and trying out some other healers. And the other thing that I did with you, Dan, was I started to learn how to play tank.
Learning how to tank. Tank 101 with Dan Rotz.
Yeah. So
it's easy.
Roadhog.
It's
stand in front.
And Roadhog's also like a different tank too.
Yeah, he's a little bit interesting. Like you want to go.
He's more of like an off tank in some ways, just because he's
or a battle tank. You remember that game, Battle Tanks? By the way,
oh man, I played so much battle. There was I think 2 of them on the N64.
Yeah, on the N64.
Those were one of those games I rented a lot on at Blockbuster, and then I eventually bought one at Blockbuster.
Nice. But Alex, you said so. Lucio is your favorite. You think? What makes Lucio your favorite?
I feel like I understand the mechanics of his weapon, the sound cannon, and
of the pew 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 and the boop.
The pew 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 and then the boop, and the pew pew pew. It does it. It's a decent weapon. Like it's not too terrible. As long as you. The other thing that I've. When I used to play first-person shooters, I used to click the mouse every single time, like I wanted to fire. And during like these battles, when you do that, you move your mouse like all over the place. And so now I'm much better at just like holding my mouse down, and so I'm way more accurate.
It's
with my shots.
Yeah, it's learning how to use a mouse and keyboard versus a controller.
Yeah.
Learning how to mouse 101 with Christopher Wright.
But I've had some. I've had some good boops. I've booped a couple people off ledges and
those are the best.
Won the point a couple
it's
times.
One of my favorite things to do is to boop.
Yeah, booping is good.
Booping.
And then besides Overwatch, I'm about 25-30 hours into Witcher 3.
Oh,
nice.
How's that going?
So after watching the show on Netflix, it got me interested to do it again, because I kind of got into a lull of playing that. I was like 20 hours in before.
And LOL.
And I didn't feel like I was that far into the game. I got stuck on a couple side quests.
Yeah.
So this time I started from the beginning, and I actually did more side quests and got further in the game, and then way further now than I was beforehand.
Are you in Novigrad?
I'm in Novigrad, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
I'm about to get on a ship
to Skellige.
So I'm almost on the Novigrad. The main story.
So one of the games that we're not supposed to talk about because we talk about it too much is The Witcher 3. But,
But
Alex isn't here that often. So
that's true.
I think
we'll let it slide. No money is owed to the GameBrew Oh Crap Fund.
But now that he brought it up, I've also been playing that, and I have about 65 hours in it, and I'm about to go back from Skellige.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to finish this fucking game because I love it so much.
You gotta finish it.
I gotta.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I was about to start Divinity Original Sin 2, and then I was like, nope. I'm gonna finish The Witcher 3 first.
Something else.
Because I gotta fucking crush Dan.
Can I talk about one other thing that I've played?
No, fuck you. Okay. Get out of here.
Yeah, no. Totally.
So this is something else that I found at an indie table at MagFest, but it's called Path of Giants, and it's
I remember that one.
It's a mobile game.
Yeah.
And so this is my recent poop game.
Oh, nice. Yep, poop games.
It's fun because so you're three little characters in parkas. Mm-hmm. And there are floating tiles. It's a puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get all three of your green, blue, or orange guys. You have to get all three of them onto their colored platforms at the end of the level. And then when you get there, you float to the next puzzle in that level. And there's like 3 or 4 in each level. And then you have to do a puzzle at the door there where you have to align some tiles in order to unlock the door, and then you move on to the next.
Nice.
Well, I just downloaded it.
So is it addicting?
It is. And I listen with the sound on, which I don't do with most mobile games, but it's very, very.
Did they do a good job with the sound?
Is it ethereal? Is it like very like calming sort of?
Yeah, it's very calming. It's very, very calming. What the hell is the word I'm looking for? It is meditative. It's like very, very calming, very meditative music.
Oh yes,
very cool.
I remember this.
Yeah, I just picked it up, so looking forward to poop with it.
Oh boy! All right, let me just check my phone here. So nothing still. All right. Well. Hey. Well, there's a thing that we haven't done very often, Chris, that we could do right now because Alex is here. I don't think he's ever been a guest on our podcast. So
you mean our secret ninja podcast?
Yes, our secret.
The super
podcast.
Secret podcast.
A super secret podcast. You know what? I think it's time for
inside of a podcast.
It's time for the Dan and Chris show. It's time for the Dan and Chris show. He's Chris.
He's Dan.
And it's time for the Dan and Chris Show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Dan and Chris Show podcast within a podcast hosted by the most sultry voiced man of our generation, Christopher Wright. Say hello, Christopher.
Hello.
Oh, I need a change of pants. And the man with the jokes that sometimes land, Dan Rotz. Get it, because they're bad. And today we have with us a very special guest, Alex Righteous Writer. Hey, how's it going, Alex?
Hi. It's going good.
It's going good? Yeah, having a good day?
I'm having a great day.
Great. I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you for joining us here on the Dan and Chris show. Yeah.
I don't know what vortex I just like fell through.
Oh no, it's not a vortex. This is a podcast within a podcast. Every once in a while, if you're listening to the GameBrew podcast.
Have you ever watched Inception? It's like that, but a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So the GameBrew podcast is still going, but slower. So
got it.
Yeah,
Understood.
exactly.
Understood.
Exactly. So Alex, I've got some questions for you here.
Hit me.
Righteous. That's your nickname, right?
See.
Yeah. Where did that come from? Why? Why righteous?
Is it because you were holy?
No, definitely.
Is it because you really like 90s slang?
No.
Or the Ninja Turtles?
Are you a surfer?
I'm not a surfer.
You're not. Okay, so where'd it come from? Tell us the story. Paint a picture with your words.
It actually came from Ian Richards.
So he just started calling you righteous one day?
Yeah, at a band camp in college.
At band camp.
One time.
And you play
at band camp.
And you play, well, probably multiple times at band camp. Zing! If you bow, there's the one. We could go. Also, if you are listening right now, dial 555-555-BREW, and you will be able to get say the phrase that pays. Chris, what's the phrase that pays for today?
Sultry voice.
Sultry voice. If you call in now, say sultry voice, and you are the 423rd caller, you will be the one to win the phrase that pays, which is a whopping $5.37. All right. So, Righteous, back to you. Hold on. I'm getting a call on the phones here. Hold on. Let me just put this. Hello. You are on the Dan and Chris show.
Am I?
Yeah. Yeah, you are on the Dan and Chris show. Who is calling right now?
Yes. This is Alex.
Is Alex? Like, who's on our show right now?
No, different Alex. Yes, different Alex.
Different. All right, a different guy. So, Alex, I need you to say the phrase that pays, my buddy.
Is it sweaty palms?
I'm so sorry. That is not the phrase that pays. I'm very sorry about that, Mr. Alex. But good luck. Try again next time. Have a great day there.
You guys suck.
Wow, and hanging up on him. He was not very nice. All right. Well,
also very uninformed.
Yeah, very uninformed. He did not know the phrase that pays.
Probably not an avid listener.
That's okay. It happens every once in a while. So I think it's time for one of our favorite segments here on the Dan and Chris show. How do you feel about? This is a segment where we talk about how we feel about certain things. And we kind of take, got our finger on the zeitgeist of the youth. So we feel like we kind of know how people feel about things. So
because we act like we're 5 years old. So
I mean, basically,
we're basically 5 years old.
That's basically, I pooped in my pants not that long ago. All right. So
that's what 5-year-olds do.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't have any of those. So here's the first thing. How do we feel about swords, you guys? How do we feel about swords, demonic or otherwise?
I'm for them.
You're for them? You like swords?
They really get to the point.
That's good. That's a good one. And Alex, swords. What's your feeling?
I like that they're shiny, and
okay.
They do cut right through you.
Yep.
Right to the core.
Unless you wear armor, and then they don't.
So they're not for everyone.
You know what else cuts right through you, Alex? What? Chipotle burritos. Am I right? Am I right, you guys? Great. No, I'm.
At one of my last jobs, we used to have a list of different restaurant names for what kind of poop you would have, and that's
about
pretty
right?
much spot on right there with Chipotle.
Would you say it's on point?
I would. You're pretty sharp there, Dan.
I like to. I was drawing my best puns for that one.
Yeah, it really cut. It really cut.
You should sheath that last joke.
All right, here we go.
Alrighty.
All right, we're going to go into a little video game sort of segment here. First-person shooters. How do we feel about them right now?
I'm for them.
All right. Well, Ian's not Ian. Your name is Chris.
You want to try again there?
Yeah, I'm going to try that one more time.
This isn't the Dan and Ian show.
No, this is the Dan and Chris show. Chris is Chris's forum.
I have I did mention I was been playing some Battlefield recently.
Battlefield, yep, first person shooter. Alex, how do you feel?
Like shooting someone.
Yep,
I'm for the first person shooter.
For the first person shooters.
Yes.
All right.
I play a little bit of the Siege.
A little bit of Siege. Oh, I do like a little bit of Siege. It's a little tactical. Boys getting tactical.
Working with your buddies.
Getting tactical on you. It looks like we've got another call coming in. Let's go. Hey, Chris, do you want to take this call?
Sure. Caller, how are you doing today?
My name's Tim.
Hi, Tim. How are you doing?
Tim, hi.
Where are you from?
I'm from
Southern Georgia?
Yeah,
The bottom part? How close are you to Florida? Are you pretty close? Or?
I'm pretty close to the southern part of Georgia, so.
All right.
Yeah.
What you got any questions for us today?
Am I on the air?
Yeah, you're on the air. You're loud. We're hearing you loud and clear.
Oh, good. That's great. I love it.
What else do you love?
I love golf and driving my Tesla.
Do they have Teslas in Southern Georgia?
I do. I'm loaded.
Loaded with what?
Money. By the way, I want the phrase that pays. Is that a thing you guys are doing?
Not for people that are loaded.
What?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to hang up on him right now. I can't believe the rich people calling into this show, driving Teslas around, trying to win our $5.37.
I don't think I even asked his name, did I?
Did you?
I don't think I did. Fuck.
His name was Tim.
I'm a terrible host.
His name was Tim?
You did.
His name was Tim.
His name is Tim?
His name was Tim, I think.
Well, I just have a terrible memory.
I was having a hard time understanding what it was saying, to be fair. Oh my
to
gosh.
be fair.
To be fair. So, I like.
Fair?
So back to a tuba fair. That would be good to go to a tuba fair.
Like a state fair.
But for
tubas.
But for tubas.
Alex, do you know of anything like that you might be doing something with anytime soon?
What are you do? What are you doing with tubas sometime soon?
On Friday. This week I'm hanging out with a whole lot of tuba players at work.
Well, unfortunately, this episode will not be out until after that
this will
happens.
be out after that, hanging out with a bunch of tuba players. But that's okay.
Bad.
It's all right. That's okay.
But it's still pretty cool.
Hey, I wouldn't. Hey, so we were
going to teach a bunch of tuba players how to record stuff.
Yeah. Well, hey, we were talking about first person shooters and how we're for them. I'm for them too. But Doom Eternal comes out this month. It's like on the 20th or something like that. Doom. Doomslayer. And I was reading some reviews and like watching some gameplay videos, and it looks really cool. Have any of you guys watched any of the stuff there?
I think the word you're looking for is dank. There, Dan.
Oh, it's dank. It looks
know
pretty.
That you can't spell dank without Dan.
That is true. You cannot spell dank without Dan. And now a word from our no, I'm just kidding. We don't have any sponsors. But it looks pretty cool.
But if you wanna, sponsor the Dan and Chris show, you can call us at 555
BREW. It has nothing to do with the show, but it's the only number that was available. But have you guys read anything about it or seen anything about it there at all?
I don't. I mean, it's basically going to be Doom to the X degree. Like,
yeah, basically,
it looks awesome.
They just added so much.
They were just like, okay, the things that you liked about the last Doom, we're going to do that, but even more.
Like they added, like there's a hub area. Like you remember in Doom 2016, it was kind of like straight through. Like you started in the beginning of the game, you just kind of kept going, and then you go back and all that kind of stuff. But basically, they added this thing called
the Fortress of Doom.
That's like a hub area that you can go to all the different levels from.
That's also where the GameBrew has their headquarters.
That's
the
true.
Fortress of
Yes,
Doom.
in the Fortress of Doom. And it is kind of like a Fortress of Solitude type thing where you can go there and there's like different armor. You can see like all your guns are hanging up, and
that's awesome.
There's like a room where you can test out all your different guns and things like that.
Except it's Doom.
Except it's Doom.
Amazing.
Yeah, and the reason that they did that is because the Hugo Martin, who's the games director for it, he was saying that the problem they had with the last one. I mean, if you could even say it was a problem, the problem they had with the last one is that it was very repetitive as far as level design. Like it was all kind of like Mars, or Hell. It was all kind of the same, right? Because and Righteous, you remember playing a little bit of that, right? And it was like kind of just red. Everything was a red color.
Everything was on fire or burning, or it was kind of like being in hell.
Which, I mean, it made sense because
it's
that's
Mars,
where you were.
Hell, Mars, same thing.
But
but they added a bunch of different levels that you can do. So I think in the playable demo that people did, that's like a 3-hour long thing. It's like 3 different levels, and the first one is kind of like a regular space station, so kind of it's probably the classic Doom, red tinted murdery stuff. But then there was like a snow level, like a level that took place in like a glaciery tundra sort of place, and then the other one was like a temple or like some sort of place like that. So that's definitely pretty neat. I watched some of it. And
they're changing it up a little bit.
Yeah, and they're making it more arcadey in that there's like all these verticality. How
could you make it more arcadey?
Because they add all these different bright colored like rings and things that you can do. You can activate traps by shooting them in the environment to take out stuff. Cool. You can there's like the ability for you to climb walls and like swing on poles and stuff to get from one place to another.
I did see that. That looks awesome.
It's pretty.
So it looks like it's going to be even faster, which for that type of shooter is excellent. Like that, just to get your like adrenaline pumping to the music.
Yeah. But and also the other thing is you can like enemies have weak points now. So instead of just plugging away at a specific enemy, you can like the one that has 2 big guns on its arms that it shoots rockets out of. You can shoot those rocket arms and it like takes out those rockets. So then it just shoots normal stuff. So it's a little bit.
That's cool.
Adds a little bit more.
Yeah, so you can like take out limbs and like I assume that's for a lot of the big.
Yeah, a lot of the big baddies, guys. Or like the ones with the cyber demon, the one that has the like 2 shoulder mounted things that it shoots out.
I thought that's what you're talking about.
Well, there's that one. Yeah, that you can do, and then there's one that's like a big guy that is a big fat guy that has hands that are shooting rockets. Yeah.
If you were a demon in Doom, what would you be?
No, I know what I'd be. I'd be one of those floaty head dudes, the ones that float around and just shoot.
Yeah. Blah, blah. I'd be a pinky.
You'd be a pinky?
I'd be a pinky.
Which one's the pinky? Is that the big thing with the
big
mouth?
Smashy pink ones.
Oh, the big smashy pink guys. That's good. What about you, Alex? What would you be?
So, I think Dan, you would be a cacodemon.
A cacodemon?
Yeah.
That sounds dirty.
I think that's what it's called. In the original game, they were called cacodemons. I would be, or maybe you were a pain elemental. Interesting.
I am quite a pain.
I would be an archvile, very fast, and can respawn dead demon. Can also set you on fire, which usually will kill you.
Yeah, I mean, being set on fire is probably one of the things I don't want to happen to me.
Yeah.
So, all right.
If you go to Bethesda's website, their landing page for
they have Doom, like a survey?
Well,
that'd be hilarious. Which demon are you from Doom?
That would be fucking awesome.
It's like on Facebook or Snapchat
or BuzzFeed.
Go to the Doom Eternal page. And if you scroll all the way down, for the Doom Eternal Deluxe Edition, there's like all this stuff that you get. There's a screenshot of the one demon with the shoulder mounted things. They look like marching baritones.
Yeah, they kind of do.
I'm pretty sure those are marching baritones on his shoulder.
I'm pretty sure that is.
Here, I'm gonna screen grab this and
maybe it's like maybe it plays music or something like that. Doot Revenants.
If your demon played an instrument, what would it play?
The electric guitar. Duh.
How would he hold it?
With his
How would he play
tongue. With his tongue.
Also with his tongue.
All right. So I think we're getting close to the end of the Dan and Chris show. I think we've got time for one more caller. Alex, let's. Do you want to see if we can get somebody who wins the phrase that pays here on? All right. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Let's get them.
All right. Let's get this next caller on the phone. Okay, so we're gonna give one listener one last chance to win the phrase that pays here on the Dan and Chris show. All right, caller, you're on the air. Who are we talking to?
Yep, I listen to you guys every day.
So you're a frequent listener to the Dan and Chris show.
Yep. Your name was Mike?
Mike. Yep, long time, first time.
All right. Well, hey, Mike, it's good to.
Wait,
it's good.
It was your long time or your first time?
Long time listening, first time calling.
All right. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, well, thanks for calling in there, Mike.
Yep.
So, Mike, how's your day going so far?
It could be better. It could be much better. But, I'm getting by.
All right. Okay, good. Well, Mike,
where are you from, Mike?
Yeah, where are you from, Mike?
That's none of your business. Hey, listen.
All right.
Okay.
I've never heard of that.
None of
my business. That must be a new continent or something.
I don't want them to find me.
Wait, who's them?
They know who they are.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike, we're still looking for the phrase that pays. You can win a whopping $5.37 if you say the phrase that pays. Are you ready?
You could
Mike?
almost buy some Chipotle.
You could almost. You could halfway buy some Chipotle with that.
That's pretty tasty.
Oh no!
So close.
It was so close. We are salty boys, but the phrase that pays is.
But I think right now you're a salty boy, sir.
You're a salty boy there, Mike. All right, I'm sorry about that, Mike. You didn't win the phrase that pays, but maybe next time, and hopefully whoever they is won't find you. All right, we'll keep doing the thing there. All right, so I think that's it for the Dan and Chris show for this morning. Let's everybody. So Alex, or Righteous, it was great to have you here, friend.
Yeah,
thank you for
I don't know what just happened, but thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we're gonna sign off here with our classic Dan and Chris. Dan and Chris show sign off.
Everyone sing along.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. It's time for the Dan and Chris show. It's time for the Dan and Chris show. He's Chris.
He's Dan.
And it's the Dan and Chris show.
And Alex.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hey y'all, it's Dan from the GameBrew podcast. Obviously, I just want to say thanks for listening to this episode and for continuing to listen to the show. It's really awesome to have you all here and enjoying it, and also have you in the Discord. So remember to go to bit.ly/discobrew. That's DISCOBREW, and come hang out with us. Give us topic ideas, all that kind of stuff. It's great. And please remember to subscribe to the podcast and tell your friends and your family to subscribe to the podcast. Please leave a review, give us a rating. All of those things help us out a lot. So it's really awesome if you do that. The other thing you could do that's really awesome is go to bit.ly/GameBrew, and you can sign up for Humble Bundle, so you get a bunch of free games. Well, not free, but you'll get a bunch of games every month, as well as spend some money to help out people in need. So it's pretty neat. So check out all that stuff. Follow us on all the stuff at the GameBrew, and I'll leave you back to join the shenanigans in the second half. I'll see you. Bye-bye. All right, and welcome back to the GameBrew podcast. I guess, maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
still waiting for Ian and Allison and Will to get back to us. Has anyone gotten a...
I think I heard that Ian might come like an hour from now, but whatever.
He's on California time, so when he says an hour, it probably means like 3 hours. But, it's California time for you. Those darn Californians.
California.
California. L.A.
I
live in L.A.
Yeah, so I guess let's keep plowing through this.
Yeah, I guess we keep talking about it. How's it? You guys still drinking the 60 minute?
I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'll at least drink it for 60 minutes. That's like what you have to do, right? It's kind of, you sign a contract when you start drinking it. That
Where it's like, you must drink this for 60 minutes. How's it treating you? How you feeling?
I feel like I can drink way more of these than a lot of other beers. I don't feel like these are as heavy as a lot of other IPAs that I've had. And I think, Chris, going back to like Heavy Seas, I can't have like 5 or 6 of them. I feel like I could accidentally drink 60, or I can accidentally drink.
You can drink 60 of those? Holy shit.
Oh no.
Accidentally drink like 6 of these, like 60 minutes.
Oh, this beer accidentally fell into my mouth.
it.
What am I going to do?
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could too, but at the same time, I think I would prefer to drink Loose Cannon. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's okay.
Maybe it's partially the being the home brewery kind of thing.
It's like the home team beer.
Yeah, I mean, Loose Cannon's like, I mean, I think that of the IPAs in Maryland, there was basically for a while, it was Dogfish Head's 60 Minute, Heavy Seas Loose Cannon, and Flying Dog,
Raging Bitch.
Yeah.
I do like Flying Dog.
I don't like Raging Bitch.
I don't like it.
Really?
I don't think it's very good.
I don't like it.
I don't think it's very good. I think that of those 3, Loose Cannon's my favorite. This is my second, and then Raging Bitch. I don't think it's very good.
All right. Okay.
Do you know the IPA
takes.
that I really like, Chris? What's the Salisbury brewery?
Evo?
Yeah.
Evo Lot 3 is good.
Lot 3 is a very, very tasty.
Also,
beer.
Lot 6 is good, too. They make a lot of really good beer. Also, if you haven't been there, to all of our listeners, go there. They have a great restaurant. They have a great brewery tour. They do everything really well in Salisbury.
Nice. I like this beer. IPAs haven't been doing it for me recently, though. Like I don't know. It's they kind of give me a headache.
Yeah.
And also, like,
they're the red wine of beer.
Yeah, and it also just like sometimes the flavor's a bit intense for me. Like I've been finding myself doing more drinking beers recently, like a lot of Yingling, a lot of PBR, like maybe a Miller Lite here and there.
This past year, I feel like I've like kind of gravitated back towards IPAs after a long time of not being into them.
Okay.
But it's been more of like what I've been calling the juicy ones. Ooh, so like juicy. the I guess like the New England style IPAs with like the hazy IPAs.
It's a little bit hazier. A little bit more unfiltered.
So there's a lot more drinkable and not as much of like the old school just hoppy IPAs.
Okay. All right. So I was talking before about how I was playing Devil May Cry, and that game really makes you feel like a badass whenever you're playing it, because like everything you do is like super powerful, and of course Dante's got this sort of Devil May Care attitude about stuff, or Devil May Cry attitude.
I was about to say, is that like
the Devil May
kind
care.
of the point?
Yeah,
he may care.
He may care. Devil may care.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, maybe, I guess a little bit.
Can't be crotchety every day. Some days you just got to take care of your other demons.
Yeah, all those inner demons. But that kind of makes me think like, there's all these games that have that kind of way they make you feel like a badass whenever you're playing it. Like, which is I guess that's kind of the way that I think video games should be. It should be like, when you play it, it should make you feel like better than yourself, you know? Like, it should make you feel like you're doing all these crazy things. Like, oh my gosh, that's so cool that I just did that thing.
What's funny is that one of the games that I played in the past, I guess, year that I appreciated the most was Kingdom Come Deliverance, which made you feel the opposite of that.
It made you feel like weak ass
made you
boy.
very much feel like a peasant.
Like a corny ass bitch.
Which was, I don't know, I guess that was refreshing.
Just to be like, it's like, oh yeah, I'm kind of a dunce. I can't really do
I'm just kind of a fucking normal person, aren't I?
But it is kind of cool whenever there are games that do make you feel like just a badass anytime you're doing things. Like, Alex, what's a game that you've played that makes you feel like a badass whenever you're playing it?
One of the first games that I can remember is Gears of War. The first Gears of War.
Yes.
And
Well, really, all the Gears of War probably.
Yeah. But this one, particularly because we did a 15-hour lock ourselves in an apartment gameplay
Nice.
of it.
Nice.
And it was pretty epic. But yeah, the first time that you pull out the Lancer and go at a guy with it.
Yeah, just chainsaw through.
It's one of the most visceral feelings I've ever felt in a video game.
But it was really just good.
It's so good.
It's a satisfying game because you can get injured, but for the most part, you're kind of invincible.
You get shot by roughly 1 billion bullets, and still you're like, you just get behind a wall for a little bit, and you're like, I'm good.
Yep,
I'm good.
And so for me, that is way more satisfying than dying, waiting for the loading screen for 15 minutes to start 30 minutes from where I just was.
Yeah. Also, the one thing about Gears of War, the first one, is that you were some beefy boys.
I was about to say that.
Like you were just
you were huge.
They made you like not even close to being like actual like make sense physically for you to have this many muscles. And
it's 90s style comics.
Yeah, and also like whenever the coal train comes by.
Oh, the coal train, baby.
Woo! It's just he's huge. It's like there's no reason for him to be this big, but he's this gigantic dude who's just mowing down locusts left and right. Oh god, that's great.
That's still one of my favorite like video game events or experiences was his thing in Gears of War 3. Where you're in the football stadium.
Oh, right. And there's all like the Coltrane like memorabilia around. Like this.
Well, yeah. And like you're playing, like it's basically like him pretending it's like I can't remember what their version of football was, but basically like him playing that game.
Oh, that's right.
But like destroying people in the stadium.
Because it flipped back and forth between like the real world and like his like fantasy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was pretty fun. That was great. Gears of War 3 was... the Gears of War series is great. They did a really good job of all of the of all that stuff. What about you, Chris? What's a game that made you feel like just a fucking badass?
So this game was kind of a surprise. It was one of those games that my parents got me it was a game that I didn't ask for Christmas and they just got me. And I don't know if it was because it was like in the discount rack or what, but did you ever play Prototype?
I never played it. It
was the Xbox version of Infamous.
Okay.
And basically in Prototype, it's an open world action adventure game. Published by Activision, which is interesting.
Nice.
But basically you're a shapeshifter. You kind of get like these Resident Evil-esque like transformations on your body, and like as the game goes on you can get different morphs or different mutations. And it's open world, so like you're basically in this city and you're just flying around, so like you're basically a superhero and you can continually upgrade your superhero and you can just destroy stuff, and it just you had so much power.
Just like ruin tanks and like turn. I think I saw some stuff from this game where you could like turn your arm into a giant like bladed like glaive thing that you could just slam people around with. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, it was wild, and I'd never really played a game. I played this before The Force Unleashed, so like this was like the first time that I had this open world sandbox where I could basically do what I wanted and be like this. You were a being above just like a normal person. Like in Grand Theft Auto, like you can like cause havoc and get like your the police after you and like get like 5 and 6 stars and stuff. But like in this, you're just above that.
It just doesn't even matter. You're just like
they'll call him, but like it's like okay, whatever.
Like, I'm just gonna pull this helicopter down and slam some people with it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you talked about The Force Unleashed also, because that game was really people kind of talk about it in hushed voices when they talk. It was like, oh, The Force Unleashed. It was like didn't feel full, and it kind of messed with the Star Wars canon a whole lot. But when they made it, they basically they were making it so it was like showing you the crazy, like these crazy set piece Force events. I think one of the best ones was like in the first couple levels where there's a Star Destroyer that's attacking a place, and you just plant your feet and just use the force to just pull it out of the sky and like just ruin its day. And even though that was like a huge, ridiculous thing, it just felt so good. Like to just use the force to pull stuff down. And then you have like the crazy force powers of just ruining people with electricity and swinging those double lightsabers around.
Yeah, I mean, it just the scale of that is just above anything else that you've ever really been able to do.
Right.
And I think that's what kind of makes it special, is that it gave you so much power and allowed you to do that. I think, if I recall correctly, it's been a while since I played Force Unleashed, but like the Star Destroyer thing was kind of more of a quick time event or something.
Yeah, it was a quick time event.
Yeah, so it's not like something you could just be like doing on the reg.
Mm-hmm. But it was like
where
you were like super. It was like super important that you get this thing out of the sky. So you had to. So you were like, oh no, what am I gonna do? And he just grabs it and then starts trying. And like things are attacking you while you're doing it, so you have to kill those things and then go grab the Star Destroyer again and keep pulling it down. That was really cool. It was really cool. And we talked about Doom in the first half a bit. That's another one where it's like, even though it's like a first person shooter, you're a little squishy, but in general, like you're going around just demolishing demons with your bare hands every once in a while.
Well, they encourage that.
They do, because that gives you more health.
Because that gives you the I forget what they're called. They call them, but basically, yeah, it gives you health or gives you shields, and basically makes you invulnerable for a little bit. So you kind of have to be constantly doing those kill animations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the music gets more intense, and your adrenaline gets
just pumping,
and it's a cycle. Just go down there.
Get your Prius and throw some Slayer CDs in it.
Mm. Yep.
What things make you feel that kind of feeling of invulnerability and absolute power that feels good, do you think?
I think it's just the fact that it's like, especially in games where sometimes you do have that vulnerability aspect where you feel a little. It's like you feel like a little exposed, and then it gets to a point where I'm going to go back to Devil May Cry because that's what I'm playing right now. And the until you get your like Devil Trigger mode, which like makes you more powerful and you have different attacks and you can do. It's like you feel like, oh, these are these combos, and when one of these demons hit me, like it really takes a chunk out of my health. But then you get the Devil Trigger mode, and you're like, oh man, then I could just if I'm in trouble, I could just activate and just start tearing him a new one and then get health back and do all that stuff. So it's that like I've been vulnerable for so long, or in all these other games I feel so vulnerable that once you go into this new state, it's almost like a high. Like it's just like all of a sudden you get that rush of endorphins where it's like, oh my God, I can literally do anything.
And I think one of the major things that makes you feel that way is having to feel like you've earned that. Back in the day, in like when I started playing StarCraft,
right? You could
use a lot of cheats, and you could make yourself invulnerable and give yourself as much money as possible, and like you could win that way. And it was, as a 10-year-old, that's cool.
Yeah.
But like as a 30-year-old, that wouldn't really be that much fun anymore because there's no challenge.
Yeah, it's just
So I think a big part of that is making sure that like you get those feelings of invulnerability and power, but also making sure that you're in check and that you don't feel invulnerable. And I think that's a super hard balance sometimes.
Right.
Another interesting angle of this is, especially us who grew up playing like Mario, for example, and you would get the star.
Yeah.
And you could run through as many Koopas as you wanted with the star. Well, in those games, you knew where the star was. Like after you've played that game enough, every time you get to that level, it's in that block, that far into the level. But then in the games that we were just talking about, like in Doom and even in like Overwatch, when you have to do certain things in the game to build up to that point of invulnerability or that point of having like your ultimate or or being as powerful as possible. And so it's rewarding when you get to those points.
Because it feels like you've earned it. Like you earned this.
Yeah.
Like crazy shit that you can do.
Yep. And then in Mario, it's like, man, I wish I had that star like at the beginning of that world, because that would make it so much easier.
But then I've found like where games kind of give you that, or let's say you've min-maxed in a game so that it's no longer hard. Mm-hmm. I start losing interest in that game. But I'm talking more about like maybe Diablo 3, where at some, I mean, and they do a great job of having like extra difficulties.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where it's you have a build and you have the items that you need, and there's not really a lot of challenge anymore. You're basically just doing the same shit over and over.
Right.
And while you're building towards it, it's a lot of fun. But once you get there, it's just kind of like, okay, well, I'm here and I don't need to do anything else.
We were kind of talking about this earlier a little bit, and I did bring up because Righteous, you were we talk about Tony Hawk Pro Skater sometimes, but there are like, you know how there's like in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I think the original one, I don't know if you could actually like upgrade your stuff at all, or if it was just you could.
You could unlock skaters.
Depending on the game, you would earn cash. And then with that cash, you could buy stat points.
Right.
And with the stat points, you could increase your grind so that you didn't have to use the joysticks to try and balance as much when you were doing a grind to like continue a combo. And so eventually, by the end of the game, if you had collected the money you were supposed to, you could beef up all of your stats and be a pretty invincible skater. But
epic.
He's basically better than Tony Hawk in real life.
But as the game went on, the levels got more difficult, the challenges got more difficult, and so you needed those stats to complete those challenges. And so the game actually progressed with you increasing your skill level.
Right, but you could still go back to the first level with all those skills and just be like, I can do a 9,000,006 like spin in the air and get 1 billion points. As long as you do that revert at the end, you got to keep that combo going.
But it's kind of like playing a game on easy mode,
right?
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, it's satisfying to go back to that, but at the same time, I don't know. It has to have that ratchet.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Unless like you go back to that first level and you're trying to like speed run it, or you're trying to do something along those lines.
But anyway, so let's kind of close out. Let's kind of close out the like, I guess we'll stop talking about this in a second, but maybe let's say if you could be like a badass character from a video game, like what would you be?
Well, it's tough.
I know it's hard. Well, I know what I would be. I'm going to tell you what I would be first. So the badass character that I would want to like be at his most badassness would probably be Kratos from God of War, just because. I was about to say that. I'm sorry. Just because once you get all of the upgrades and stuff, and you're just doing all these sick combos with the blades of chaos and like the other crazy weapons that you have, it's just so.
You got your boy.
It's just so satisfying though. Like just to wreck stuff. Like it's still beating the Valkyrie Queen in God of War for the PS4.
Fight. That's a real
tough fight. And I was so happy whenever I did that. I almost cried.
A lot of the Valkyrie fights were really hard.
But that last one was just, it was like that From Software game that we don't talk about level difficult.
The second From Software game, when you get the Black Knight halberd and you upgrade it fully, is pretty
ridiculous.
Pretty lolsy.
Yeah. It just messes up some dudes.
Yeah, because you have massive range and massive damage. And because you know that if you were able to, if you didn't have that, you would just get destroyed.
Yeah.
It allows you to do things that you shouldn't be able to do, or as quickly. It does kind of make you not learn how to do things correctly as far as learning some of the mechanics of the game.
But it's worth it to just slam dudes into the ground.
The Black Knight halberd is nasty.
Nice. All right. What about you, Alex? If you could be badass boy.
So either Marcus Phoenix
Yep.
from Gears.
Beef.
Or
Super beef.
Or Solid Snake.
Solid Snake. Why Solid Snake? I want to hear more about that.
So for me, Metal Gear Solid 2 was another kind of defining game of my youth.
Your childhood.
It was probably one of the most difficult games
Yeah, it was tough.
I've played.
Yeah.
And so that was one of those things that when you completed a level, you felt like a badass because the skills that you used to get through that and to sneak through or to kill a big boss or whatever, like everything in that game, when you got it right, and it was pretty awesome.
Nice. That was pretty cool. And there's that, that's another Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. That's one where they kind of turned Raiden into a badass.
I love that game.
That game's sweet.
It's made by Platinum.
Yeah, it's great.
Same people that did Bayonetta.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Yep. Which is another game along the same lines as Devil May Cry. So boom,
Interesting.
boom. All right, so I guess Will and Allison and Ian probably aren't showing up, but that's okay. I guess maybe we'll just record the podcast another day. You think that would work for you guys?
Yeah, probably. I can probably do tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night would be all right. What about you?
Nope. No. This was it for me.
Shucks. All right. Well, we'll try and get you in. We'll get another one in soon. I do have to remember. We need to remember to tell people that they should go sign up or go join the Discord that we have. Yeah, by going to bit.ly/discobrew. So that they can hang out with us and like give us topic ideas and stuff.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we should do that.
Remind them.
And we got to remember to tell people to follow us on social media at the GameBrew on like all the things, just so we get more followers. You know, it's a good idea and get more people involved in it. And remember to like and subscribe to like the podcast on Facebook.
I mean, we're always monitoring it.
We are. We're always on there. Like I'm on the Twitter all the time and. Allison's on the Instagram all the time, and we have. Oh, and Alex, thank you so much for the awesome intro music that you wrote. That's really cool. It
was fun.
We need to figure out a title for that so we can.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions for a title for our awesome new theme song, let us know.
We should put that in the. You could tell us in the Discord.
We should ask them to all of our people.
Yeah. So if they
And extra GameBrew points to anyone that can either count and let us know how many video game Easter eggs are in the theme song, and bonus points if you tell me what they are.
Bonus points. I want me some Alex Rider bonus points.
Those are like the good ones.
Those are the good stuff. All right.
GameBrew points and Alex Rider bonus
Yes, indeed.
points.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll sign off for now. So, I guess good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good night, everybody.
I'm gonna use the restroom.
I'm also going to use the restroom.
I'll be back.
Alex, are you going to use the restroom?
Nope.
All right. I'll be back in 1 sec.
They left me alone in the basement. I'm recording all alone. No one here to listen to me. I am just here talking to myself. I am just alone with my microphone. No one is here. No one can hear me. No one can see me. It is just me and my microphone.
What's up?
I just sang a song
For Dan.
for Dan, yeah.